Hi there Booktube, it's Eleanor here and it's time for my What I Read This Week. So this week was a slower week for me. I read just 2 books and I'm partway through 2 books. But before I get into those, I want to tell you my Booktuber Shoutout to the week. This week I'm shouting out a collaboration. It's one channel called Bedtime Book Club and it's 3 ladies on the channel. They're in their PJs and they're talking about books and I just think it's lovely. They're 3 friends. They obviously enjoy each other's company. They're having a book club, chatting about books, telling us about books, but as a Booktube video, and I just really enjoyed watching their videos. They've only got a few up so far. They're relatively new, but go over, check them out. I'll link them down below and if you like what you see, subscribe. I just think they're really fun, a little bit different and really interesting to watch, so I'd like to see where their channel goes. So as I say, this week I only read 2 books and I'm partway through 2 books, and that's because I'm working on a super secret Booktube project which I can't tell you about yet, but hopefully I'll be able to tell you about soon. But I won't tease you with that too much because I can't tell you what it is. So let's get into the books that I read this week. So I totally lied and I've read 3 books this week. So the first book I read was Star-Crossed by Josephine Angelini. This is part of a trilogy. It's a YA story and I missed this one totally when it first came out. It's been out for a long time. I picked this up as part of the biannual bibliothon because it was the book that was picked by one of the hosts and I was really pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the story. It's got lots of Greek mythology in there. It's just a really fun, fast-paced YA story and yeah, it was good fun. In this story we're following Helen. She lives on a tiny island and has lived there her whole life with her father. Her mother has left them. She's unsure why, but she doesn't really miss her. She's just happy to be her and her dad. She's a little bit awkward. She's quite tall and she doesn't like it. She feels a bit uncomfortable. She doesn't really sort of own what she is, and she has a bit of an arch nemesis at school who's a popular girl, and so her and her friend Claire hang around a lot together and are just making it through school so that they can leave the island and go off to university or college. And then a family moves to the island and something strange happens. She has a strange reaction to one of the members of the family and she can't stand to be near him and she literally wants to kill him every time she sees him, and this starts unraveling a little bit more about her and her past and her mother and the family that have moved there, and it's just really good fun, and so I gave this one 4 stars. So the next book I read with Caitlin from Kitty G, and we've both been sent Replica by Lauren Oliver, which is a YA story which is told in 2 parts. So the first part is told, or one of the parts I should say, because you can read this in any order, is told by Lyra and the other part is Gemma. So Gemma's part, which is the part that me and Caitlin decided to read first, is about a girl. She's your average girl. She's at school. She gets bullied quite a lot and called names, but she is just making her way through school, and it's spring break. Her and her friends have managed to convince their parents that they're going to go and visit her friends' grandparents, I believe, in Florida. And they, you know, it's not your usual spring break. They're staying with some old folks, but they're going to have fun, and it'll be quite a big thing because Gemma's family are very strict, as are her friends. And then on the other side we have Lyra. She's grown up at this mysterious Haven Institute, which is off the coast of Florida on an island. No one knows anything about it. We don't know much about what's going on, and so it's told from her point of view because she is on the island. I don't want to say too much about this book because I think it will really appeal to some people. Unfortunately for me, it was full of cliches. It was very predictable. I mean, we knew what was going on. And the biggest thing for me with these type of books where you have 2 points of view, very much like a book where you read a story and then there is a second book in the series, but it's just the same story told from another person's point of view. I just feel like it's unnecessary. I felt like Gemma's story would have been enough. You could have elaborated a bit more on Gemma's story and we didn't really need Lyra's story in there. I personally just didn't feel like it added an extra layer to the story really, which was a real shame. I thought, in my opinion, Gemma's character was much more fleshed out in this. But as I say, it just felt a bit boring, a bit cliche and really predictable, which I was really disappointed with, and I know that Caitlin felt the same. So unfortunately this one was a bit of a miss for me and I only gave it 2 stars. However, I think, you know, if you've read Lauren Oliver's books before and you really like Lauren Oliver, then it's possible that her writing style and storytelling is for you. So don't not pick it up because of my review. See, you know, make your own informed decisions about whether you think it's an interesting read. But for me, unfortunately, it just didn't work. And then the final book that I read this week, which I totally forgot about, but now I must mention, is a book that I was asked by the author if I would read and review. It was sent to me via a e-copy, and I read the synopsis when the author sent it to me, and I thought, this sounds really interesting. So yeah, I'll read it and give it an honest review. So this is my honest review. You know, I'm not affected in any way by the fact that the author sent me this for free. And yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. The book is called Izanami's Choice and it's by Adam Hine, and it's a novella or a short story. It's a story set in Japan where androids are a part of everyday life at all levels. They are in the police force, politics, they are servants in housing, and although people are embracing these androids, there are quite a few people that are still sceptical about having them in everyday life and their role. We're following Itaru. He was a samurai and then a police officer, and now he's kind of a private investigator. He left the police force when his son was killed due to a failed hostage operation, which did involve an android policeman making a decision that possibly cost his child its life. Then one day, Itaru has a chance encounter with a Jinzu, or a robot, who tells him that their master has been killed, but they can't remember what happened. They think that something bad has happened. They're being followed by the police because the police want to bring them in for questioning, but they have a blank in their memory from when it happened and they need his help. So Itaru is pulled into a mystery around whether these robots are sentient beings and what it means if being sentient for these robots is allowed. It was really fast and fun and interesting. It explores themes of free will and control of technology. If you want a really fun, fast-paced robot versus samurai story, then I really think you'll enjoy this. And I really, yeah, as I say, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the themes that were explored and the way that it wrapped up at the end and the questions it asked at the end. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. It was 4 stars from me. So that's all the books that I finished this week. I'm currently in the middle of 2. I'm doing a buddy read of The Sparrow by Mary Doyer Russell with a couple of other booktubers. I'm only part way through of this because it's a lot of a slower read. I am really enjoying it, but it is a slower read, and I'm in the middle of this project which I can't talk too much about, but yeah, so it's just taking me a bit longer to get through. And then on audiobook, I am listening to The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert. I've been listening to this over the whole month. I don't know why I decided to listen to this on audio, but I wanted to try audiobooks and I am really enjoying it. I'm just not picking it up as often as I would a normal book. I think because it's sort of quite new for me, audio, I don't necessarily think, oh yeah, I'll just pop an audiobook on. So I am over halfway through in this now and I'm really enjoying it. It's quite well suited actually to audio because it's a book that you can sort of pick up and put down and not lose where you are. It's quite a slow moving book. It's more character driven than plot driven and I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully I will finish this by the end of the month. So that's it for me this week. Go and check out the Bedtime Book Club, and if you're interested, subscribe and show them some booktube you love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now, booktube.